Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
All doing tonight? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and I'm here live on a Sunday night to review last night's episode, last night's special, if you want to call it, of WWE's Saturday Night Main Event. I'm calling it because I guess we're going to be doing these going forward here and there, I guess. There is already one advertised for next month. I think the Saturday before Royal Rumble, I believe it is. So I'm not going to call it, I technically could call it Saturday Night's Main Event 2024. I'm going to treat it like it's like an episode of Raw or SmackDown. This is my review of the December 14th, 2024 edition of Saturday Night's Main Event. And it took place last night, December 14th, 2024, at the Nassau Memorial Coliseum. And that is what it's called, right? Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Long Island, New York. This is the first time, I forgot since when, that they had Saturday Night's Main Event. This apparently was like a special here and there they had back in like the 80s or 90s and whatnot. When Raw and SmackDown didn't exist. And so this is kind of like an old school throwback thing. So a cool concept to bring back right now. It's okay to have reminisce of the past, bring back old school, just run it back for something fun for a night. And again, if they're doing these like once a month or here and there, fine by me. For me, though, and this is going to be a minor opinion, I gotta say, I don't know if it's because I'm a late bloomer wrestling fan, or if I didn't really, witness this too much. I kind of thought the show was a little boring, if I'm being 100%. I kind of thought it was a little boring. I just felt like, even my wife felt the same way. It felt very rushed. Commercials involved in there didn't help either, too, as well. So that was kind of like a thing, too. I don't know if I went into this with like a mindset of a pay-per-view, or if I just, this is just something that I'm just not used to. I mean, it wasn't a terrible show. It wasn't. But I kind of felt like I was watching a house show. And nothing really happened on the show, if I'm being honest. I think the wrestling was good. Some of the execution, mainly in that main event, felt a little bit overdone. And I guess I have my personal concerns when it comes to what happened in the main event. And, of course, the fallout, what happened that was off air, that I wish they would have had on air. But I don't have a reason to get that invested in what happened after the show went off the air. But it was still a good wrestling show. I feel like for a better executed show, and this is just my opinion, when they do this again next month, and if it's only going to be 2 hours long, make it just 4 matches instead of 5. 5 just felt, again, it just felt very rushed, and the pacing just fell off to me, in my opinion. But we had some moments. My favorite match of the night was actually the triple threat match with Gunther, Damian Priest, and Finn Balor. we of course did have crowned a new Women's United States Champion. I was gonna do a separate video on my thoughts on these women's mid-card titles, since I'm still taking a break from Raw and SmackDown reviews this month. But I will talk about that when I do get to that women's US title match and where I stand with the mid-card stuff, in my opinion. I don't know. It's just, I saw this show. I don't know if I just didn't go with the right mindset, or again, if this is a little more old school and way before my time of being a wrestling fan. Like I said, I just thought it was a decent wrestling show, but just the pacing fell off. But again, that's my opinion. A lot of you are a lot more smarter wrestling fans, a lot more experienced wrestling fans than I am. You probably enjoyed the show. And if you did, awesome. It's just my opinion. Like I said, it might just be suffering from not being, the best wrestling fan in the world. I just thought it was a decent wrestling show, but again, it just felt rushed. Or, if you're going to do it 5 matches, why not do it like 2.5 hours? Treat it like how like an NXT TakeOver was back in the black and gold day. Like a 2.5 hour show, 5 solid matches, just a little more story in there. Just a little bit, if I'm being honest. But we'll talk about everything, and we will get into it. Like I said, I will review the show, and I will also, when I get to the women's U.S. title match with Mia Yim, Mi Chen, whatever you want to call her, and Chelsea Green, I will talk about my thoughts on them bringing in these mid-card women's titles as well. But first, let's check the lovely live chat, as we have 2 of my really good friends here on YouTube, Tyler and Tia Couponer. Tyler says, "Hi Mike, can we stop having Rhea and Liv fighting already?" I do feel that way too, yes. I really think the next time they fight should be the last match they have. And honestly, they should probably just give the title back to Rhea, if I'm being real. Nothing against Liv, it's just, I don't know if Liv can carry on a strong story with the championship in this role without Rhea. I feel like she could tell a different story without the title. So I do agree with that. Tia Kumar says, back then, Saturday Night Main Event came on at 11:30 p.m. after the news. Nice. Hope you're doing well, Mike. I'm doing well. Again, just adjusting to fatherhood has been rough. My wife is doing a lot better. Like I said, the beginning of the recovery was a little bit harder because she ended up having a C-section, but she's doing a lot better. We've enjoyed our family get-togethers. We had another Christmas party today to go to for that my best friend's family hosts every year. So you got to meet my one friend who is going to be his godfather when he gets baptized, which we're going to look into that after I get back from my business trip next month. We're definitely going to get my child baptized. I am not opposed to trying for a second child. It's going to definitely be at least 18 months, though. We recommend by doctors before trying to get pregnant again because, this is a recovery from a C-section. But everything's been great. I finally got a little more focused on getting my Christmas shopping done this weekend. Yes, I'm very behind on it, but I'm in a much better spot with it. But I don't have as much time as I thought because Christmas is actually next week. But I appreciate you guys always checking in on me and seeing how I'm doing. Tyler thought the show was good, which again, great. If you enjoyed it, I'm happy for you. And Liv's title run is god awful. Again, I wouldn't say it's been awful. Liv is just much more of like a character talent than a wrestling talent, if I'm being honest. Like, wrestling ability, it's fine. But she's heavily driven by her character. But again, she's gone this long, and the only feud she could really have like a real story with is her and Rhea. And the stuff with like Judgment Day and like Damian Priest, Finn Balor, all that, it has gotten super duper old. Like Finn Balor being involved in a world title match. Again, I love Finn Balor, and I want him to be a world champion. But right now, with how they've been booking him, I can't take him seriously as even being considered to be a world champion. And it's just like, again, everything with the Judgment Day, Rhea and Liv is kind of like going like, in circles. Like, we're getting the same exact things. And I'm like, can we move on to something different here, you know? But some stuff should be wrapping up. But I will have a lot to say, though, also, when we get to that main event with Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. And what happened afterwards. That I feel like I should be excited for, but I'm really not. So, let's take a quick little swig of water. By the way, also, after I do this live review, I am going to try to record my my next 24 video, which is on the episode with Goldberg. I'm going to record that and try to get that uploaded before I go to bed tonight. And maybe another Wolfenstein video, because I've been so exhausted. My kid this whole weekend has been keeping us up at night. So I just haven't had a chance to review content. But between that and getting ready for Christmas, it's been exhausting. Hopefully next month after I get back from my business trip, things will settle down for a bit, I'm hoping. Alright, let's get rolling though and get into my review of the show though. The show opened up with a non-title match between Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre, who returned on the Raw after Survivor Series and attacked attacked Jey Uso and Sami Zayn, targeting them because, you know, they are the ones who still chooses to work with Roman Reigns despite everything he's done. Roman Reigns has caused just like a lot of chaos and a lot of broken relationships with people, such as Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens and several others, because of the fact that people are trying to help him with this bloodline story. But this opening match, it was fine. Him and Sami have wrestled a lot. I believe they've emphasized that Sami's never beaten Drew, and that continued to be the same. Drew did get a clean win on Sami, did a little bit of like cat and mouse in and out of the ring stuff until he snuck in that Claymore kick out of nowhere and got the victory. I figured that would be the case. Knowing Drew just got back, they probably want to give him some type of a win to give his momentum going. I mean, I don't know if that'll lead to him fighting world champion Gunther at all anytime soon, but, you know, we'll see what it does. Of course, we have this window period where, heck, they're calling it, where they're saying that there will be some stars shifting around between Raw and SmackDown once the new year starts, because with, you know, the new network stations and how long the shows are going to be, which I do agree. But yeah, so we'll see where Drew ends up, if he ends up on Raw or SmackDown. Heck, where could Cody or Gunther end up as well, too? But, credit to Drew, though, like I said. The heel work he has done this year has been absolutely incredible. Like I said, these justified heel characters they're developing now, between Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, and of course, I don't know if he's going to go full-on heel, or if they're just teasing like a different edge to him, or even like Seth Rollins. Like, these justified heel characters, or I'll even say also AEW, Hangman Adam Page. All these justified heel characters are just like more heels that I wish we would have had a long time ago. Because heels that tell a lot of truth are the ones that are a lot more interesting to me. So, I love that I'm seeing all that, and I look forward to seeing what Drew does next. So, there we go, got that victory there. The second match on the card was Women's World Championship match. Liv Morgan taking on Io Sky. Match was solid. Decent, solid. Like I've always said, though, I just really feel like since being on the main roster, Io Sky sometimes feels like she's limited. Or it might be just me. She feels like she's just limited. Then there's times where I feel like they just take the cuffs off her and let her go all out. This match was like, it was kind of in between. Like, she didn't look weak, but she also didn't look like she was giving it her best either. And of course, yes, it would lead to Liv Morgan like sneaking a victory in with an Oblivion after Io went for the moonsault. There was, I believe, a botch. Didn't like Io like jump off the top rope or something, and then she slipped and fell? There was a botch there that kind of hurt it a little bit. But to me, like, there's not, unless it's like a lot of botches, one little botch, unless it's like at a key moment, doesn't quite kill a match for me, if I'm being honest. But like I said, I would say if I could grade the match, I'd probably give it a B-. Not horrible, not great. This was solid. Liv does get the victory, celebrates with Dom, Raquel, and all of them. And then, again, Rhea Ripley comes out, and they have a stare down. So they're probably going to get another match, maybe at the Raw's Netflix debut, maybe wait till Royal Rumble, who knows. But, again, I do agree with Tyler mentioning that they got to get away from Liv and Rhea. And I agree, too. They've done all they really could do with this. I just don't know. I just think at this point they should just put the belt back on Rhea. Again, Liv's had the run, but I just don't know. I don't know what she could do to carry on us. Like, if she would have proven, like, in between time of match between her and Rhea, that she could tell stories with other people, then I would have said keep the belt on her for a while longer. But to me, I'm kind of like, maybe take the belt off of her, have her do some other storyline, maybe tease a breakup with her and Dom or something, and then, who knows. But character work I'm not going to take away from Liv. She has had an excellent year, and this character is world championship material, but I think it's time to move on and give the belt back to Rhea. So, that'll probably happen before you know it. Then we had my match of the night personally was this triple threat match between Gunther, Damian Priest, and Finn Balor. This is happening because Finn Balor interfered in their match at Survivor Series. Why he's still going after Damian Priest when Damian Priest just beats the crap out of... And that's the other thing too. Anytime Damian Priest is fighting anyone in the Judgment Day, whether it's just him and Finn, he's fighting like Carlito and JD 2-on-1, or he's fighting like all the men in Judgment Day. No matter how many people it is, he always seems to stand on top. So, like, why should I take Finn Balor going after Damian Priest seriously when I know he can't beat him, and I know he has no chance to beat Gunther right now? So that, I was kind of glad they threw back in Damian and make this a triple threat. I mean, don't get me wrong, Gunther versus Finn Balor, when Finn Balor is booked at his best, does sound like a great match. But again, right now, I just don't see any hope for Finn Balor unless they get him away from Judgment Day and give him something different to do. Because literally, the position he's in now, he's a joke! But this match focused around the story about how Gunther's felt like he's slipping since he lost to Cody Rhodes for the Crown Jewel Championship, which I still think Gunther should have won that. Cody did not need to win that. Again, although this is odd to say, Gunther has told a good story through a loss, but it's kind of a repeat of what we got earlier this year when Damian Priest was world champion and he was trying to prove he wasn't a transitional champion. I mean, I don't think Gunther's a transitional champion, but obviously that loss to Cody has really bothered him. I don't know if it's teasing a full-on face turn, though, for Gunther, but I did like that, he at least seemingly beat both men in this match. It was good, physical, hard-hitting, some close near falls, but towards the end of the match, I believe he was able to chuck Finn Balor into the steel steps, and then he was able to finish off Damian Priest. So basically, I was honestly kind of hoping for a finish similar to how it was at WrestleMania 37 when Roman beat both Daniel Bryan and Edge. Just to say, you beat them both, you look dominating. Just so one can't come back and go, oh, but you never pinned me, or whatnot. So, okay, yes, he didn't pin Finn, but he technically, he realistically, storyline-wise, from what we saw, he beat Finn. He beat both of them. So, it should be a confidence booster again for Gunther. Now, where he goes next, I don't know. Hopefully not him versus Finn. Like I said, I don't want to see that match right now. I'm sorry, again. I love Finn Balor. I know he could be a main eventer. But right now, he's not booked like a main eventer. I can't take him seriously. So, I don't know what's going to be happening next. It looks like from the rumors that it's probably going to be Gunther versus Goldberg at WrestleMania. Look, fine. If Goldberg wants a proper retirement match, fine. But seriously, he has not had a good match in God knows how long. And every time he fights for the championship. And he loses. So, not saying I want him to win, he should be. Why can't he have a few matches that don't involve a title? Is my thing. Make it more interesting. Because all these title matches, and this is kind of giving something away, having so many titles just takes away from them doing these non-title matches that are honestly, to me, more interesting. Because you don't have that championship as like your handicap to tell a story. If I'm being real. But there's a little more action going on in the live chat. Before we get on to the next match, I'm going to be talking a little bit more in these last two matches. Let's check our live chat again really quick. Tyler says, hot take, AJ should have won King of the Ring and not Gunther. I still think Gunther was the right choice to do, but, if you could have gotten AJ Styles, because if they were going to tell the story of him getting back on his kind of retirement tour or whatnot, fine. Let me see here. What is up with this referee cam? Yeah, they say it's there, but they really haven't done a lot with it, which has been weird. Damian Priest was a better Money in the Bank, a better cash-in than Damian Sandow in 2013. Oh, for crying out loud, yes. Oh my goodness, yes. That was a complete burial of Sandow, for sure. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Gunther pinned Finn, not Damian. Okay, thank you for letting me... Yeah, thanks for crediting me on that. Drop Judgment Day thing. It's been 2 years now. End it. It's not been booked well at all, too. So yes, I agree. Move on from Judgment Day. You don't have to turn, like, some of them heel, some of them face, have them view each other. Like, honestly, if they're going to be shaking up the rosters, just split them up on different rosters. Keep them all heels, just split them up on different rosters. What about Cena versus Gunther at WrestleMania? Gunther will have a signature WrestleMania win. See, the thing is, though, I feel like they're going to give Cena a WrestleMania victory. I'm going to give him the title one more time to break Ric Flair's record. That does sound like a good match, but I feel like they should do Cody Rhodes and John Cena. But I'm not going to lose sleep over Gunther and John Cena. I just feel like that John Cena is probably going to win that world title again. And I feel like if I'd rather have him beat one or the other, I'd rather have him beat Cody. But we'll see, though. Bring back the brand pay-per-view WWE. Like a Raw and SmackDown brand pay-per-views. Again, I'm for that, but don't do two pay-per-views a month. 1 month, do a Raw pay-per-view. Next month, do a SmackDown pay-per-view. Then do a dual brand pay-per-view for one of the big four, big five, or whatnot. But yeah, don't go back to the days where it was like there was 2 pay-per-views a month and like 19 in total. That was too many. Way, way, way too many. You have the rosters, though, and you certainly have the belts. If you want to see my dumpster fire on Sandow fail run as Mr. Money in the Bank, it's on there, Mike. I'll definitely see if I can find it. Hoping Charlotte and Becky to save these divisions right now. These reigns on both brands. They'll probably both be back for Rumble, I feel like. Probably for Rumble. But, alright. Let's move on now to the last 2 matches, which I'll have a lot to talk about. One of them, not so much the match, more so of like the concept in it. But so the Women's United States Championship Tournament Finals for the first ever Women's United States Championship. Mia Yim versus Chelsea Green. Or I'm sorry, Chelsea Green. Or how they say it now because they had to edit since it's not Samantha Irvin's voice anymore. It's Chelsea Green, which I think that's Chelsea herself saying it, but anyhow. These two do work well together. I did like this match. I probably like their dumpster match just a little bit more. Yeah, there was some tease involvement with Piper Niven in there, but it was a fine match. I liked it. And I did like the finish with Chelsea sneaking in the unpretty her, where however they call the kill switch, Christian Cage's finisher, to get the victory, and Chelsea does win the women's U.S. title. I like how she snuck in there. Like I said, if you want to give Chelsea clean victories when we know she's not like a clean victory, like the way she like kind of snuck that in there is a way to do it. But Chelsea Green wins, and she is your first women's United States champion. Congratulations. I think she definitely well deserves a title. Chelsea, again, Chelsea's someone that can get over in a loss. She's also much more of a character gimmick rather than a heavier wrestling ability gimmick. This, as she likes to call it, like last diva, Karen type gimmick, honestly, she needs something to stand out with it. And she's definitely championship material. So her getting this U.S. title, I'm cool with. Mia Yim will someday get it. I feel like this is a title that's meant for her. But if I'm being honest here, let me address this whole stuff with the women's mid-card titles and what I think should happen. I'm not a fan of it. I'm personally not a fan of it because, for starters, we have too many titles. Way too many titles. We got 2 world champions on the main roster, 2 women's champions, 2 men's mid-card titles, 2 men's tag titles, 2, now we're going to be getting 2 women's mid-card titles, the U.S. title, and on Raw, they're having a tournament currently for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, and then 1 set of women's tag titles. That's way too many titles. And as I keep saying, as I said before, the more titles they have, the less non-title feuds we're going to have. And those are the ones where they're forced to write more stories for. Like these title matches, don't get me wrong, their stories have been better since Triple H took over. But there's some of those feuds that, like, you know, all they rely on, what story is it? Oh, it's a title match. Oh, it's a title match. Okay, yes, but, like, why should I care about either one of these people fighting for a title? Like, I want a story in there as well. I just have a title match as opportunities. Yeah, an occasional here and there, cool, but just because it's a title opportunity doesn't mean all have to be that way. That's boring. So I just feel like that if they're going to add in more titles, like, I don't like it. And plus, too, the women's roster still doesn't have the depth for all these titles. Like, honestly, if you're going to bring in these mid-card titles, which, honestly, I'd rather have the mid-card titles than the women's tag titles. Since that's the case, I say get rid of the women's tag titles. Get rid of them. There's no need for them. There's not enough depth for this in this women's roster for tag titles. If I'm being honest at this point now, like, I'm okay with them having, like, you know, 2 mid-card titles for the men, 2 mid-card titles for the women, but at this point, just have 1 world champion. Have 1 women's world champion, and also have 1 men's tag championship. I'm sorry, I don't think splitting up the tag titles for the men was the best idea last year. There's not enough depth. If you get more depth on the roster, sure, but again, how can you have 2 men's tag titles, just 1 women's? I don't like that. I'm not completely for these women's mid-card titles. They're just crowding up more space. I don't know. Like I said, I think it's like either bring in the mid-card titles and get rid of the tag titles, or just don't do the mid-card titles at all. But I'm hoping whoever does win these mid-card titles, though, like when Becky Lynch was NXT Women's Champion for like 40-some days, and it felt like she was using that title reign as a way to introduce new stars. Very similar to when John Cena was United States Champion in 2015. I could tolerate that, especially if they do something like that for a mid-card champion, like on Raw. I think the 2 favorites to win the Intercontinental title on Raw is Dakota Kai or Lyra Valkyria. Lyra especially, if she wins, I think she will be a like one of those champions, like one of those workhorse champions that defend the title, introduces new stars in there. I think that would be a very good role for her. I just need more depth. I need more depth. I just don't want it to look like these are just titles that are just getting put on anyone as like a prop. Because that's not what being a champion is all about. But Chelsea, I think, will be a great women's U.S. champion. Again, give her a title to work with. Give her more of a spotlight. She's really going to shine and eventually be a main eventer. So, that's my thoughts on that. And then we got to this main event. Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens for the Undisputed WWE Championship. This is the second world title match these two have had against each other this year. The first one was back at Bash in Berlin. Excellent match. It's being considered for me on my list as one of the best matches of the year I've seen between AEW and WWE. Although this year's list is going to be hard because there's going to be a ton of Will Ospreay matches. But I definitely consider their match at Bash in Berlin one of the best matches of the year. This one, though, well, let's start off more so wrestling-wise. Wrestling-wise, it was fun. It was a match where, like, the way they were wrestling, it felt like the two of them were beating each other up. You felt the intensity. You felt like these two don't like each other. They have a lot of beef and heat with each other. That concept was done well and it worked. But then I kind of thought, like, the referee bumps, which I got to mention too. I did like also that the referees dressed up kind of old school, wearing the blue long sleeve shirt and the tie. We had like the colors and whatnot, the old WWF logo. Also forgot to mention at the beginning of the show, we had Jesse the Body of Ventura there as well. Pat McAfee made his return and was commentating on the show. But anyways, this main event match, just the ending just felt very overbooked. Having all those referee bumps, and then Kevin Owens trying to grab a chair to use on Cody, but Cody just, reverse psychology and wins after hitting a crossroads with Kevin Owens onto the chair. I didn't like that. And here's why I feel like also, besides that the execution and the fact that this all just felt rushed, I really think Kevin Owens should have won this match. I'm sorry. Like, I really feel like the ball has been dropped on Kevin Owens for years. This is the guy who got brought in, was in NXT for not even 6 months, it felt like. He was dominating, beat John Cena clean in his first main roster match. As NXT champion, keep in mind. He beat John Cena clean as NXT champion. To then kind of just become another body on the roster, and it just bothers me. It bothers me because I know, especially the Kevin Owens we have now with this heel role, where he's very justified, and that what he's saying is right. The way he's feeling is very valid. Again, Cody Rhodes is not a bad man. He's not a bad person. I don't mind him as champion. But I'm sorry, someone this justified, with this much heat, who's being built as this much dangerous like Kevin Owens. I don't care if it's Cody Rhodes. I don't care if it's Gunther. I don't care if it's Drew McIntyre. I don't care if it's CM Punk. I don't even care if it was Daniel Bryan still with the company. This gimmick, this character Kevin Owens has, needs the world title. You want to promote him as being dangerous and whatnot, besides just hitting some moves that, are banned and whatnot, you have to put a title on him. And the fact they didn't put the title on him just proves to me, okay, even if you're trying to continue the story, which I don't know if they are or not, because Kevin Owens' contract is supposed to be ending at the end of this year. So I don't know if this is either a way of, actually transitioning him into a main event role, or this is them just a way of writing him off and whatnot. I don't I just really think, especially now, I've been saying for years, it's a sin to me that Kevin Owens has not won a singles title since 2017, and he's only won the world title one time, and it wasn't even a strong run. This is a guy who should have been a multiple-time world champion, a main eventer, an excellent heel to put in the main event of WrestleMania, and they still didn't give him the title here. And then, after the show goes off the air, Cody Rhodes is like thanking the crowd. Kevin came back in, finally hit a package pile driver. He hit a package pile driver to, I guess, kayfabe-wise, right off Cody Rhodes. And then afterwards, he's on the stage getting ready to exit, and Triple H comes out, and they're pushing each other. I'm seeing that, and I'm like, well, seeing that now makes me want to see Kevin Owens versus Triple H. A dream match I've wanted to see for ages that I put on many of my WrestleMania printed match cards. But Triple H can't wrestle because he has a pacemaker. So my thing is this feud's either continuing, or this is how Kevin Owens is being written off television if he does leave the company. I still think Kevin Owens is much loyal to WWE. I don't think he's leaving. So I'm going to kind of like, put that theory of him possibly leaving off to the side. But them not giving Kevin Owens the belt in this match, I don't care about this feud continuing because I don't have the faith that they're ever going to give him the title. Like, again, you can just give him the title and next pay-per-view Cody can win it back. But again, a character this good needs a championship. And just him losing this, going after a mid-card title, then to me, that's just a consolation prize. Like, again, you're not going to do Kevin Owens and Triple H. If Kevin didn't win here, and he hasn't won a title match in, like, how many years, why should I believe now they're finally going to... I mean, yes, it's Triple H, but why should I still believe now that Kevin Owens is going to get a world title, but they keep doing the same thing over and over again, and he's teasing tension with a guy that I don't think he can beat, and a guy that I know that he can't wrestle, Triple H. He's a pacemaker. So I wasn't the biggest fan of that main event. I wasn't because, like I said again, I just can't. I don't have any faith that the WWE is going to capitalize on this Kevin Owens heel character that is justified, different from his first heel character, but I can't trust that they're going to throw him a bone if they have another match at Rumble. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. But that may just be me overreacting. Like, again, I thought it was cool seeing the package pile driver, seeing him, get into a little bit of a shoving match with Triple H. But again, like, is it really going to lead anywhere? Is Kevin Owens going to get anything out of this? Or is he just there to put Cody over and then that's it? He's just back to being another guy. WWE, you got to throw me a bone here. You got to get me to believe that Kevin Owens is going to get something out of this for me to care about them doing another one-on-one match. But we'll see what happens. But that was my review of Saturday night's main event. I got my thoughts out about the mid-card titles for the women, about Kevin Owens, other things. Again, like I said, when they do this again next month in January, I really thought they should consider, if the show's only going to be 2 hours long, make it a 4-match card. I think that's going to be just a much better dynamic. The show will flow better, be executed much better well. So yeah, do 4 matches instead of 5. I gave this show a C+. The wrestling was decent, but I just nothing really happened. I mean, yes, Chelsea Green won a title, a singles title it is. Match of the night was definitely the triple threat between Gunther, Damian, Finn Balor. Hard-hitting match despite the fact that I knew Finn had no chance to win. And yeah, overall it was, still a decent show, but I just wanted more. But again, we probably aren't going to be getting like pay-per-view level matches and whatnot here, but it is what it is. We'll check the live chat one more time before we go off the air here. I think we were right here. Team Bar says, good point, Mike. I also would rather have Cena beat Cody for the title. Yes. Tyler doesn't like the women's mid-card titles at all. Team Potter enjoyed Jesse Ventura's commentary during the main event, which is good. That was good too, yes. They made Nia's title run look like a joke when she lost to Liv at Crown Jewel last month. Do you think that we still have a rematch with Cody and KO, maybe after either Last Man Standing or Stretcher match at the next Saturday night's main event? Again, they could. Like I said, I just have no faith that Kevin's going to win. Again, nothing against Cody. It's just like this Kevin Owens character is just way too good to like pass on putting a title on him. Like I said, I just don't think that they're going to give him that moment, and that's a shame. They both think also that Kevin Owens is staying, which I think he is going to stay. And Finn is a cheap heel. Yes, he is. He's a very cheap heel for sure. But thank you to Tia Couponer and Tyler for both joining me live here. And that's going to do it. That's going to wrap it up. As far as videos go for the rest of the year, like I said, the next review is definitely going to be the Raw debut on Netflix. I think that's going to be, I'm going to do that review. And then I'm not going to start back with Raw and SmackDown reviews until the SmackDown after I get back from my business trip. So the January 17th episode of SmackDown is where I will resume Raw and SmackDown reviews. So we'll do that. I will be posting more 24 reviews, trying to get more Wolfenstein levels done as well for Spear of Destiny Ultimate Challenge, trying to get that mod done. Any of my baseball highlights, or because with my business trip coming up, normally when I have my free time, I like to edit things. So like my goal for this year is I want to edit more baseball highlights. So I'm going to basically just prep those. I do want to try to finish the Wolf 3D commercials that I never finished, that I still have like footage for to edit for. So I will probably do those while I'm gone. I'm going to work on my editing the videos. I just about have all the lists done for my best and worst matches of the year for each year that I was a wrestling fan. I will try to edit those while I'm away. Just do a lot of editing, like setups, so that way when I get back, I can just pump out a ton of content for sure. Braves lost Max Fried to the Yankees. Yes, I do have some baseball news to talk about as well too. Even also the Juan Soto deal as well too. We'll talk about that as well. But yeah, Max Fried to the Yankees is definitely a big loss for the Braves. Spencer Strider is supposed to be back this year from his bone brace injury, wherever it was they suffered last year at the beginning of the year. But yeah, definitely see some of that too. But yeah, like I said, after my business trip, I'll probably get the channel like going and being like structured again what it was before. As of now, I'll still stick with doing Raw and SmackDown reviews separately. I still have considered at times maybe just doing like one stream a week where I talk about all the wrestling for the week. And then maybe just breaking them down into separate videos after that. I don't know. But as now, I'll probably just stick with just the regular Raw and SmackDown review format. No AEW reviews, unless I review a show that I just feel like reviewing, but that's very slim and not happening anytime soon. But yeah, I'm tired, guys. I'm going to record my Goldberg review, then probably head to bed after that, because I got to work tomorrow. So that's my review, guys, of the December 14th edition of Saturday Night's Main Event. Like I said, thought it was a little rushed. Needs to be more of a 4-match card instead of a 5-match card. I gave it a C+. C+ is my grade for Saturday Night's Main Event from December 14, 2024. What are your guys' thoughts on this show? Leave your guys' thoughts down in the comments section below. Be sure also, as always, to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well, The Club with the Man 93. And also follow me on TikTok and on Instagram, The Club with the Man 1993. Until then, guys, I'll check it out. I'll catch you guys all later. Have a great rest of your night, and do not forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself. And that is not just an opinion, my friends. That is a fact of life. Yeah!